Welcome everyone to today's video where I'm going to recommend you some very nice books that really helped me improve my chess. And we're basically going to take a look at Middlegame books and also Endgame books. Now, for the opening books, I can only give you advice for the openings that I play because I only have experience with them and I don't want to, recommend you some random bullshit. So yeah, if you don't play the openings that I'm going to cover today, I'm going to do a research and also put some links down below um, of the books that are great for, openings that you play. So first of all, I probably should mention that all of the books that I'm going to talk about today should serve the purpose for players from 0 rating to around 2000 rating points. If we're going to have some exceptions about this, don't worry, I'm going to tell you everything. Okay, so let's start with the openings and then move our way up to middle games and end games. Now the first opening book that I can really recommend you is The Karakan by Lars Shandorf. So I read this Karakan book and I actually think that it's the only or almost the only one really good Karakan book because it goes deeply into the lines and every variation that he shows us is a fighting variation, which you absolutely want as a Karakan player. So for all the Karakan players, this is the book I would recommend on this opening. So the second opening that I can talk about is the English opening, because of course I also played this opening. And basically Michal Marin has 3 books on English opening, which basically tells you that he's going deeply into the variations. And I mean, what can I say? He just explains them in a really interesting way. And yeah, he basically goes through all the variations and he has very aggressive variations. He recommends you variations where you're fighting for the advantage with white. And yeah, I would really recommend it. You can see that in the volume 1 you have what to play against e5. Then you have also here volume 2 and volume 3, which are, other responses to the English opening. And one more thing I want to add here with these opening books is that if you don't like a particular line, you can just change this variation, but also play the variations from the book, but just change the variation that you don't like and you'll be fine. So I actually don't play all the variations that are written in this book, but it gave me a really nice opening repertoire. Okay, so that's it for the openings. Like I said, I will leave some links of the other openings down below, but you still want to do some research on these books before you buy them. So let's move on to the middle game books, and with our first book, which is not a very thick one. It's from Yasser Serwan, so it's probably good. He knows how to write books. He actually have the whole series on winning chess. I mean, he has winning chess strategies, like you can see here. He has winning chess tactics, openings, combinations, and everything. But I've only bought this winning chess strategies. Even though it's not such a thick book, you still have a lot of themes he talks about in the middle games, and he explains them in a very interesting and also sometimes funny way. So definitely recommend this one, and especially for players up to around 70-100, I would say, ELO rating points. I mean, it also works for higher rated players, but this is the best range of ELO rating for this book, I think. And yeah, it's a very nice one. Yes, Sarwan, as always, he has a really nice way of writing. So the next book we're gonna take a look at is the one that probably everyone knows about, and is basically Jeremy Silman's how how to reassess your chess. I don't know. I hope that I read this word correctly. Um, the word in the middle, reassess. Anyways, this is the book that like almost everyone knows. It's a very well-known book, and it's well-known for a reason because it's a really nice book. Unlike the previous book from Yasser Sarwan, this book is very thick. It's very thick. It has even more themes, I think, than the Yasser Seren's book. As you can see here, it has like topics about minor pieces. It has topics about statics versus dynamics, pawn structure. It has a lot of themes, and again, it's written in a very interesting and fun way for you to read it as a reader. And yeah, would definitely recommend this one. I also think that it's maybe a bit more advanced than the previous one, but I mean it's not very advanced, but maybe a little bit more than the previous one. I would recommend it for all players from 0 to around 1900 rating points. Again, higher rated players can also remind themselves of these topics in the middle game. And if you haven't read this book, I would really recommend you to get your hands on this book because it's a really good one. So the last book on the middle games that I would recommend you is more of a attacking book. It's actually from Ivan Sokolov, and the title is Sacrifice and Initiative in Chess. Now, I recently bought this book, and I'm really amazed at the examples he gives. The topics are really interesting, and these topics are pretty hard usually for a lot of chess players to understand. Sacrifice and initiative. It's one of the hardest topics. So that's why this book is really important, I think. And you just get a view on how to attack in chess, that sometimes you have to sacrifice pieces in order to successfully checkmate the opponent's king or get his queen, whatever. So this is another book that I would really recommend you to get. Okay, so moving on to the endgame books that I would recommend you, and basically it's not endgame books, but it's an endgame book. If you know what I mean. You only need one book, I think, for the endgames, and this is Toradsky's Endgame Manual. Now, I know some people say that it's pretty advanced, but I don't agree with them totally because it's written in a pretty simple way for everyone to understand it. Um, it's talking about hard topics in the end game also, but it's written in such a way that everyone should be able to, understand it. And you also have some tragic comedies in this book, so it's also a fun book to read. It's not just, uh, rook end games, okay, you have to do this. It's pretty fun, and yeah, this is probably the best book that I've ever read. And yeah, I mean, you wanna improve your endgames, overall endgame knowledge, then just get this book. Wait, what's the sound? What? Bonus book? Bonus books! Let's go! I have one bonus book for you guys, and this book is focusing on middle game and endgame topics. So you have different lessons. As you can see, you have 50 essential chess lessons, basically 50 games that he talks about, and at the end of these games he also gives you an essential chess lesson. And I think this is also one of the greatest books I have ever read. I mean, I haven't read it to the end. I'm reading it currently, and I can tell you that it's a really interesting one. If you want to improve your attacking skills, your knowledge about pawn structures, it basically talks about a lot of topics. And I mean, yeah, just awesome. Now this book maybe looks like a little bit more of an advanced book, but again, like I said, I think all of these books are readable for every chess player. Because again, it's written in a very understandable language, so it doesn't really matter how high your rating is. I would definitely recommend you this book. Maybe after you read a book such as Winning Chess Strategies or how to reassess your chess. But if you read this one first, it also won't hurt. Steve Giddens makes it easier for you to understand it. So, I mean, after every game he goes through, he basically explains the crucial moments and everything, so it's perfect. So if you're interested in improving your chess and whatever this could be in the opening, in the middle game, in the end game, or both. If you want to get one of these books, you can get them on Amazon. Like I said, I will also leave links down in the description. So I'm thinking about doing another video on chess books because there's really a lot of chess books or a lot of quality chess books that we have to go through. Maybe in the next video I will talk about chess tactics books, where you have puzzles, and also maybe about some books about chess history and also analysis of famous chess games. And these books are also very interesting and useful. So yeah, I'm thinking about that. So if you found my recommendations useful, please subscribe to my channel and I'll see you in the next video.